get into this video, don't forget to like and subscribe and support our channel. Thank you very much. What's happening, folks? Right, so today I'm doing a new video. I've not done a video for ages. You've probably seen the pig one that we've done recently, but it's been like 3 months, so I'm literally going to be doing some more videos, as many as I can. So today's video is going to be all about my incubator and what we do on the farm regarding hatching chicks and our stock, and you know, how we get our eggs and what we breed and why we breed, and what we get as a result of breeding our chickens and ducks. There's loads going on. I mean, we've done a video, it must be 5 months ago now, about our Brinsea incubator that we just bought brand new from Brinsea. It was delivered to us really quick. We unboxed it. We've done a video all about, you know, unboxing it and what it can do and what it, you know, is capable of doing. It's a great bit of kit. Well, I've been using that now for 5 months, and you know, it's a really good piece of kit. It's not let us down once, and we've got like literally hundreds and hundreds of chicks from that incubator. So I'm just looking at my pig. So you would have seen the video about Airsy and the piglets. So this is a bit of a makeshift pen for them. The piglets are doing really well, by the way. They are a week old now and they're all still alive, which is a plus. Airsy's doing really well, but she is like a bloody ball in a china shop, like literally. She's like smashing everything to pieces. So I've just realised I've got to go back in here and sort out some of the panels that she's knocked down. But anyway, back to the chicks. So we've got a Brinsea 190 over easy incubator, and on our little homestead or our little menagerie or our little farm, we're on half an acre here in Lincolnshire. We have, the best way to describe it is, I've got some resident hens, several different breeds, not loads of hens. We've got hens that are kind of running around doing their thing. Hey Lee Rose, you right? We've got some cockerels, and we've got lavender peakins and ducklings and stuff like that. So we used to have Rod Stewart, who was our resident cockerel, and Rod Stewart would... The piglets are out! Piglets are out, 1 sec darling. Rod Stewart would go around and he would basically inseminate our resident hens. 1 sec darling. It's exciting stuff, the piglets. We don't have one type of hen here, we have several types. They all do different things. Like we've got hens like our Easter eggers that lay green eggs, we've got Morans that lay brown eggs, we've got bluebells, we've got peakins, lavender peakins, we've got lots of stuff going on. And what we've been doing is we've been buying, recently, since our last video, we've been buying some more silkies to go with rodders. So we get purebred silkies. We've got lots of Polish bantams. These are blue and white crested Polish bantams that we get lots of eggs from. These guys are some of the amazing colours. These guys are some of the amazing colours and varieties that we're getting. All hybrids, not gonna lie. These are all hybrids, apart from these blue splash silkies that I bought to eventually do some more pure breeding. Because that's the thing. Because I've been doing Rod Stewart, who's a silky, with all the resident hens, I've been getting hybrids, which is fine. We hatch loads of hybrids. They're really cool. We get some mad colours, all great egg layers, but they're not purebred. So I wanted to do more purebred stuff so that we get some different stuff, some more variety to sell to our customers. Like this guy, who is a pure breed, lavender pekin. She was gifted to us from a friend of mine, Shelby. Shout out to Shelby. In this pen, I have got nearly a dozen of lavender pekins, all hens with one cockerel. But this girl does not want to go in that pen. She escapes every single time I put her in there. So we just let her roam free and do her own thing, because she doesn't want to be part of a group. She wants to do her own lavender pekin silky things. Not silky. She wants to do her own. She wants to do her own lavender pekin things, which is fine. If she doesn't want to be part of a group, then we won't bother making her. So I've got pure breeds. I've got silkies. I've got Polish bantams. I've got lavender pekins. All right. And then everything else that we're doing at the moment is all hybrids. Hybrids of lots of different things, and it's really, really cool. So before we start talking about the incubator again, because that's what this video is going to be all about. It's going to be all about the incubator. We've got the Brinsea Over Easy 190. There are lots of incubators that Brinsea do, just like the one that I've got. The one I've got is one of the smaller ones. They're all universal, so whatever I tell you about the Brinsea Over Easy 190, the same rule should apply to all of the other incubators that Brinsea do, whether they be bigger or double the size or treble the size. Rule of thumb is, if you do what I'm doing, you should get a similar result, if not exactly the same. So that's today's video. Stay tuned, hope you enjoy. It's going to be a good one. If anyone's looking for information about Brinsea incubators, definitely this is one for you to watch. I'm going to tell you all about it, and the results that we've got from it. So peace, keep in touch with yourself. Shush. This is what I do every day. I come out after work, I come out into the paddock, I go into all the chicken sheds, I go into all the pens that we've got for our pure breeds, and I just go around collecting eggs. And luckily today, it's going to be really dark in here because it's getting late now. Do you know what, mate? They might all be duck eggs, because I've got some younger ducks as well that might be old enough now to start laying some eggs. So you do get smaller eggs when you start off getting eggs from your ducklings or your chickens. So I would say that these are all definitely duck eggs, all 4 of those. What we got?
3 more.
Ah, right. So these are your normal chicken eggs. You can tell that by the colour of them straight away. Yeah. And that's the beauty. When we collect these eggs, we don't know what we're going to get. That's why I love doing hybrids so much. We don't know what they're going to be until they've actually hatched. And we see the colours of them when they've actually hatched. So put them down as well, Leroy's. Right, you can't have them back. They're mine now, bitch. Nothing in that corner at the bottom there, no?
No.
What about over there in that corner?
No.
So that's not bad. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 eggs for one day in our little...
We get more.
Well, we do get more sometimes, but sometimes we don't get as many. We do get more sometimes we don't get any. All depends on the chickens on the day or the ducks on the day. So today we've got 7. So Leroy's is going to very carefully put all those 7 eggs in her pocket and not crack any. Not going to crack any, are ya?
I can only get 3 and 3.
That's it. All the hens are going, what are you doing with my eggs?
Nothing.
We're not doing anything. All good?
Can you get my balloon?
I'll get your balloon for you. Right, ready. Right, sweet. So that's what we do every day. We collect the eggs, get them indoors so that they're not too cold. So what your hen will do naturally, she will lay an egg every day for 10 days, and then she will sit on them, and then she will.
Put them in here for now. Or much you want to be to put them just in the incubator?
No, that's alright. See what we do, look. I've got this tray here.
Yeah.
So take this tray, Lee Rose,
Yeah.
and put all the eggs that you got from today on the tray. So the tray's a bit dirty, but that's fine. So we've been out today, we've got our eggs for today. We're going to put them here and I'll leave them there all week. I will collect eggs every day and put all the eggs in this basket all week. What I do is I collect eggs from Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And on Sunday, all the eggs I've got, I will then put into a tray like this, and then I'll put it into the incubator.
And then it will make a chip.
I won't go into too much right now because there's a lot to take in. But at this point, what I'm saying is that I collect the eggs every day, and I collect them, and I hatch on a Sunday every single week. Saturday and Sunday we hatch eggs, and on a Sunday every single week I put a new batch of eggs in that was laid that week from my hens and my ducks and my quail. They all go into the incubator on the same day every single week, which is Sunday. So with that being said, I'll talk to you about the next bit in a minute. It's going to take a couple of days for me to do this video, so just bear with me and stay tuned. This is going to be a good video. Take care. Alright guys, so do me a favour, with all that being said, if you want to see more videos about hatching, about breeding rabbits, about breeding hedgehogs, about chickens and ducks, and what's going on in my life with my family on my little homestead, my little menagerie, then do me a favour, down below, hit the subscribe button. It means a lot to me, it means a lot to my family. That's what we want to do, be doing more of these sort of videos. Yeah, so like, subscribe and share. Thank you very much. God bless you. Shush.
And now for something completely different.
Right, so, thanks to my cameraman Luke, Lukey boy. So, we breed every week. We breed anything between 20 chicks and ducks to 50. That's pretty much what we can expect to hatch, minimum to maximum, every single week. Every single week we hatch between 20 to 50 chickens and ducks. My favourite is ducks. I love the ducks. And then what we do, so I'm just going to show you what we've been hatching recently. Alright, so we've got these beautiful, these are just my favourite, man. Beautiful, beautiful appleyard ducks. I think this is a female because it's so light in colour. I found that the males tend to be, now I don't hold me to this. I'm not saying that because they're light in colour they're female, but I've noticed that when they grow on and they get fully grown, that the darker ones tend to be male. So one of my favourite things to hatch are the ducklings. We don't have as many ducks as we do chickens, so we don't get as many ducks, but we're working on that. We're going to get more and more and more stuff. And then we've got other chicks in here, like our pure breed lavender pekins. You know the lavender pekins, they're light grey. Well, they're tiny compared to another chick which is exactly the same age. I mean, the difference in size is like, it's almost double. So this guy would be one of the hybrids that we've had from our crossbreeding. We get loads of different colours. We've got whites, we've got blacks, got some brindley colours. We've got a bit of both. That's why I love breeding hybrids, because you never know what you're going to get. This is a Pekin, and I can tell it's got a much rounded body to it. So everything in this pen here is between 1 and 2 weeks old, and that's where we start. Then down here, this is what we've got left from, you know, hatches that we've done 2 or 3 weeks ago. We've got guys like this. So these are all between 3 and 4 weeks old, beg your pardon. Come here, you. So this pen up here, these are all 1 and 2 weeks old. This pen down here are all 3 and 4 weeks old. We feed them twice a day, and we give them fresh water twice a day. So they should have enough feathers and be strong enough and be big enough to handle without being with heat. So we've got 1 to 2 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks, 5 to 6 up the top here, 7 to 8, all right? And then we go over here, no heat whatsoever, 9 to 10 weeks, all right? And then outside, I'll show you before it gets too dark. We go 11 and 12 weeks, so these are off heat now, they're outside, and you know, it's October now, so it's getting pretty cold of an evening, it's wet. They've grown enough, they've got all their feathers, they're strong, you know, they're quite happy to be outside. So 10 weeks, 11 and 12 weeks, and then after this pen, they go into the main pen, where you know, they start becoming like point of lay. So at that age, just a few weeks after they've been in there, they're going to end up being you know, old enough to start laying eggs, and so on. We do get a lot of cockerels. The cockerels, they're a pain in the arse, because nobody wants cockerels because of the noise that they make, and they don't lay eggs and all that sort of stuff. And you can't keep too many cockerels together because they fight. So we rehome our cockerels for free, and the ones that we can't rehome, basically we I have to edit that out. So we rehome our cockerels for free, because the rest of them I just cut their heads off and stamp on them until they're dead. Alright, so I'll edit that bit out. So this is our little nursery. This is where all the magic happens after the incubator. So I've not even got to the incubator yet. This is all about the chicks and what you get from the incubator. Like I said, we've got the Brinsea 190. We can hatch anything between 20 to 50 eggs a week, and we put duck eggs in our incubator, we put chicken eggs in our incubator, and we put quail eggs in our incubator, and we put them all in there together. We don't have an incubator for one, we have an incubator for all of it, everything. I can successfully hatch quail, chickens and ducks in one incubator and get a really good high success rate of hatch rate. So let's get into the incubator itself. These incubators, they can do whatever you want them to do. You can set the temperature, you can set the humidity, you can set the amount of times that these trays turn. You can do whatever you want to do with them. Let's just go through some of the settings here. So to go into the settings, you press the minus button and the plus button together, and it takes you straight into temperature. So we know what that is. 1 second. get a bit of light on the subject. Right, so temperature. The next one is RH, which is relative humidity. That's your humidity, like moisture in the air. Turning cycle. Your turning intervals. Alarm for high temperature, low temperature. You can set a setting so that you can have a cooling down period. If you're putting duck eggs or goose eggs on now, there will be periods of time where the ducks, chickens, or whatever bird it is leaves the nest. So you can even manipulate the environment of the eggs to mimic the hen being away from the eggs for certain periods of time. This is your choice of either reading your temperature of the incubator in Celsius or Fahrenheit, and then save. So whatever settings that you've chosen throughout this menu, at the very end you will just press OK and that will save it. So let's start from the beginning. Temperature, I'm going to press OK now. So I've got mine set at 37.3 Celsius, which actually is a little bit low from what the guidelines would say that they need to be. The reason I've done it a bit low is because I had for a period of time a secondary thermometer in the incubator itself. So I was able to get a second reading as to what the incubator is telling me the internal temperature is, and what my external thermometer was telling me that temperature was. And all I did was I took those two measurements and averaged it out, or halved it, and this is where I want to be. So I want to be about 37.7 degrees, but at 37.3 degrees I found that to be an average of the incubator's temperature and my external thermostat, sorry, my external thermometer. So basically what I'm trying to say is the thermometer inside the incubator is really good, but there is some adjustment by 0.2 or 0.3 or 0.4 degrees, and I found a sweet spot at 37.3 degrees Celsius. That works really well for me. The next setting is, oh, I beg your pardon, now I'm changing the setting. So yeah, to change the temperature that you want to set your incubator at, when you're in the temperature setting, you just go up or down. So for argument's sake, I'm going to go from 37.3 to 37.4, press OK, and then it goes straight into the next setting, which is RH, which is relative humidity. So I'll press OK. I've got it set at 55% relative humidity. So that's 55% humidity inside the incubator. I've got, with this incubator, I've got the Brinsea System Advanced Humidity Pump. So I've got a humidity pump that's connected to the Brinsea incubator. The Brinsea incubator talks to the humidity pump, and between the two they maintain the correct humidity setting that you've set within the incubator. Now I've set 55%. During hatching, I've got the option of increasing this up to, 1 second. Right, okay, so if I want to change the humidity inside the incubator, whilst I'm in the humidity settings, I will just simply press the up button, the plus button. Now, I don't touch this. I keep it at 55%. That humidity pump talks to the incubator, and that maintains the humidity inside the incubator at 55%, which isn't much more than room, like an average room humidity. Now, when it comes to hatching eggs, now one of the things that you'll find when you're hatching eggs is that if you don't have the correct humidity inside the incubator is that if the humidity is not at least 70%, what you'll find is that the eggs inside the shell of the egg will stick to the shell. Now, even though these trays are turning left to right every hour, you'll find that the actual chick or duckling or quailing inside the shell will actually stick to the shell, and that's because there's not enough humidity in the incubator. Eggs, when they're hatching, need a lot more humidity around the shell. It softens the shell. It also, when they pip, it keeps things moist, it keeps things moving and flowing. It's a bit like the natural WD-40 of hatching eggs. So if your humidity is too low, you'll find that you'll be getting eggs that are pipping and starting to hatch, but they won't hatch because as they're hatching, the chickens inside the egg, or the ducklings or the quails, are actually drying out. They're almost drying out inside their own shells before they can make it out of their shell, if that makes sense. So there's an option where, for instance, you've got chicken eggs inside your incubator. You've put them in there and they've been in there for 18 days. On the 18th day, you'll take them from the rotating shells into the hatcher. You'll put them into the bottom tray, and then you would increase the humidity inside the incubator from 50% humidity or 55% humidity to 70 or 75% humidity. Now, I don't do that. I have so many eggs that hatch all at once in this bottom tray that when the first egg starts to hatch, a lot of the moisture from the egg actually releases into the incubator, and that naturally increases the humidity inside the incubator. So I've got mine set at 55. I do not change that. I've always got at least 20 or 30 eggs hatching every single week. And when the first egg hatches, and the second and the third and the fourth and the fifth and so on and so forth, I don't need to increase the humidity inside the incubator because the moisture within the eggs naturally increases the humidity inside the incubator by itself without even touching it. So you could increase the humidity inside the incubator on day 18, 19, 20 and 21 to 70% or 75%. I don't think it would make any difference whatsoever, but it wouldn't hurt either. If you haven't got that many eggs hatching, it would certainly be a good idea to increase the humidity inside the incubator manually by using the pump, by using the incubator to its full advantage. But because I hatch so many eggs, I have found that I don't need to. Now that works for me. It might not work for everybody, but you know, that's how I use my incubator. If this is your first time using this incubator, I would say go for it. When it gets to day 18, if you've only got chicken eggs inside the incubator, when it gets to day 18, ramp it up, change the humidity to 70%, and that will soften the shells and make it a lot easier for all the chickens and ducks or whatever it is that's inside the incubator to hatch. It can't hurt, but all I'm saying is that I've not had to. I find that all my chickens or all my ducks, they all hatch around about the same time. They all go into the incubator at the same time, and they all hatch at around the same time. And as they hatch, that raises the humidity enough that I don't need to worry about changing the settings. This is running all the time. It's a great bit of kit. I also know people that I've spoken to, big poultry breeders that have got incubators that are 4 times the size of this. The same incubator by Brinsea. This is a 190. They do a 360. They do a 900, and I mean, listen, it gets outrageous. You can go to Brinsea and you could get this whole bloody room fill up with a setup if you really wanted to. They're amazing. It all comes down to what you need as a requirement. I don't need one that big. but they all work the same way. They all have the same settings, they all work in exactly the same way. Chickens and ducks take exactly the same amount of time to hatch. The pumps all work the same. So it doesn't matter whether you've got an incubator that's this size, or twice the size, or 3 times the size, or 4 times the size. If you've got a Brinsea incubator, you should have the same results as I do every time, no matter how big or how many eggs you're trying to hatch. So moving on to the pump, I've been online. When I bought this incubator, I didn't know much about it at all, and I thought, good old YouTube, that will show me what's what and how everything works. Well, do you know what, mate? It didn't. There are very, very, very few videos from people like myself that are actually giving reviews onto how this equipment works for them. Brinsea have got some videos, and there's some other videos from America and whatnot, but no one's really done a really, really in-depth video about the Brinsea Series 2 range. So the main thing, I mean, if you've done your research, by now you're not going to buy a Brinsea without knowing a thing or two about hatching eggs. So you must know that an egg takes 21 days to hatch. You must know that an egg needs to be kept at 37.7 degrees Celsius to hatch. You must know that you need to have a relative humidity of 50% or 55% throughout the entire hatching rate until day 18, when it should be up to about 70 or 70 above. If you didn't know that, then I don't know why you've bought one of these, because, you know, like, this is not an incubator for a beginner. Anybody can use this incubator. It's really, really user friendly, but if you think you're just going to buy one of these, stick a bunch of eggs in it and it's all going to work itself out, you're wrong. You need to know a few things about, you know, eggs in general, incubation in general. There's a guideline for all chicken eggs and all duck eggs and all quail eggs that everyone would follow, regardless to what incubator they buy. So this video is about this incubator and how I find it to work. It's a great piece of kit, but the hardest thing to get your head around, and this is where the most maintenance comes into play, it's the humidity pump. So what I'm going to do for the purpose of the video, I'm just going to unplug that now, because the humidity pump is plugged into the incubator itself. It goes in that little hole there. You plug that in, and straight away, if I push it in, ready, it starts working, because the incubator and the pump are talking to each other. The incubator tells the pump how much water it needs to maintain the humidity that you've asked it to maintain. So what I'm going to do, hang on one sec, I'm just going to open the door quickly, and I'm just going to pull this pipe out. So this is the humidity pump. It's got a cable that comes with it. It's built in, you can't do nothing. It's already connected to the humidity pump. This is the end that goes into the incubator. Okay? Now, when you buy one, or when you get one of these humidity pumps with your incubator, or you buy it separately, whatever you want to do, it won't come with this hose. It won't come with this hose, and it won't come with that hose. So starting from the very beginning, the short hose that comes out of the right hand side, if you're looking at the front of it, okay, connects to a little plastic grommet, and then it goes into a hole in the side of the top of the humidity pump. It comes out the bottom, you pull it out, and you want to make sure that this piece of plastic tubing is long enough so that when you put it on top of the water reservoir, plastic tubing is touching the bottom of the water reservoir. So when you turn the pump on and this mad little gizmo starts spinning, as it's spinning, it's pulling water up through the pipe, down this tube and into the incubator. On the end of the long pipe that comes out of the left hand side of the front of the humidity pump, it comes with a little rigid, so this is all flexible clear plastic tubing, but it comes with a rigid piece, a really rigid piece, like a straw, plastic straw. And all you do, you just literally push that into the end of the silicone tubing like that. Before I show you what you do with the long piece, I want to show you a little diagram on the front. Now you can see this is replicating that. What you need to do is you need to follow the diagram. So working from the left to the right, just like the picture, you need to go around the incubator motor, and you need to make sure that when you go round, you're above the left hand side. Sounds complicated, but it's really not. So you end up with that. So you've gone from the left, around and back over. And that's exactly what this says here. This piece, as I mentioned before, goes down this little hole into the water reservoir at the bottom. You've gone around the top, and then this long tube with the rigid bit goes into the incubator. So what I like to do, now no one told me to do this, but I've just got a little plastic tub, so I've stuck the water reservoir just higher than it needs to be. You take the long silicone tube on the left hand side of the water pump and you stick it through here. Can you see that little symbol there with the two little water droplets that look like water droplets? At the end of the incubator there's a hole, and you stick that in the end. When you've stuck that tube through that hole, you can grab hold of the end of it now, and you can stick the end of the tube into the top of the sponge. So I've taken the silicone tube that comes out the left hand side of the humidity pump, put it through the hole, I've fed it through the back, and I've stuck it into the top of the sponge that comes with the incubator. Now this sponge looks a lot like a car washing sponge. Well, the reason for that is because that is a car washing sponge. Do not use a car washing sponge. I've put that in there because I have run out of the actual cardboard sponges that comes with the incubator. I've bought several more since buying the incubator from Brinsea, and I've used those as well because they do need to be changed. They end up perishing, they end up getting dirty, and they can even go mouldy and deteriorate to the point of which you don't want them in your incubator. Make no mistake, I've put the sponge in here as a reference to what you do with the tube. It's really not a good idea to have a sponge. It doesn't have the same air circulation, so you end up with a load of water being dripped into the sponge, and you don't get any high humidity. So I wouldn't recommend doing what I've done. I've just done it for the purpose of the video, and because I should have ordered sponges days ago and I haven't. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend using a sponge. It's not the right thing to use. they take on too much moisture and it doesn't increase the humidity inside the incubator. I've just done this for the purpose of the video. So make sure that when you order one of these incubators, you order plenty of the extra humidity filters to go inside as well. When you've done that, so now we've got our water reservoir with water in it. There's not much in there, I can fill that up at any time. I use a jug of water like this. So what I would do is, I'll just simply take the lid off like that, get me jug of water, fill it up to the top, and then put it back on, making sure that that little pipe goes all the way to the very, making sure that that little pipe goes all the way to the very bottom. There is a little plug on here that you can take off, and you can fill it up from there as well. So like, fill it up from here, but that might be well and good if you've got a hose, or you've got you know, like a watering can, or whatever it is that you're going to use. For me, I've got a big jug, so I just take the whole lid off. That works for me, but for other people, that little plug there might be perfect for you. So here we are. I've filled up the reservoir full of water. The little silicone tubes at the bottom, which sucks up the water. The big tube goes through into the incubator, into the sponge. Okay, and all that's left to do is to take the male end of the humidity pump power supply and stick that directly into the incubator. And when I do so, you'll hear straight away that they talk to each other, and it'll probably start pumping water into the incubator immediately. There you go. And that's how it works. It just spins, very clever design. It spins and it draws water out of the reservoir and pumps the water down through the silicone pipe into the incubator, into the sponge, and then the humidity increases in the incubator. There's fans inside the incubator that are blowing all the time. They're maintaining the temperature and they're maintaining airflow so that the temperature is evenly distributed over all the eggs, and it's also distributing the humidity from the sponge evenly all over the eggs. So let's just turn that off like that. 55, okay, and I'm going to go, just going to keep pressing OK now. OK. And then save. OK, that's it. So I've got already, it's gone from 30 degrees because I've had it open and been messing with it. It's gone from 33% humidity to 44. 1 second. It's gone from 33 to 41. It doesn't take very long. It maintains a balanced humidity, a balanced temperature, and maintains that very quickly. You can have these incubators indoors, in your house. You can have them in a shed or a shack or a barn. As long as it's not too cold and not too hot, if you know what I mean. You wanna put your incubator into a room that's got some sort of stable temperature. You know, like a utility room or a garage, something like that. It depends on where you live in the world as well. I mean, I live in England, in Lincolnshire. I've got mine in my utility room. My utility room is pretty much room temperature all year round. In the summer it does get hot in here, but I've got the advantage that I can open this door open the garage, I can open this door outside, I can open this door into the kitchen, I can open this door into the bathroom, and I can open that window to the outside. So I can maintain a pretty steady temperature in here, and the incubator will do the rest. If I have this incubator in direct sunlight, it's going to struggle, because it can't make the incubator colder than what the surrounding area is, but it can certainly make it warmer or maintain its warmth. So you want to just make sure that wherever you put your incubator, you know, it's always going to be in a position where its ambient temperature is lower than what your designated desired temperature is that you set it to. So don't be putting your incubator in 40 Celsius sunlight, because it's never ever going to be able to cope with that. You need to make sure that it's less than 30 degrees Celsius, and then the incubator can top up the amount of heat that it needs, that it's not getting, if that makes sense. So that's the humidity pump. Those are the basic settings of the incubator. The other things I wanted to talk about was cleaning. Earlier part of this video I was talking about cleaning the trays. So I've done some tests. The trays are absolutely dishwasher friendly. You can put them in the sink, you can dishwasher them, you can jet wash them. They are bomb proof. You can do whatever you want to them. The inside of the incubator, however, you know, you need to take a bit of TLC with the inside. You can't just go and spray it with a jet wash, or smothering it in chemicals and cleaning detergents and antibacterial stuff. You need to go a bit steady. So what I did was, I cleaned the trays, the white trays, in a dishwasher, one by one, put them back in there. And regarding the inside, I just used a little bit of warm water. I just made everything nice and wet. The doors, the sides, the bottom, the trays, or the shelves without the white trays, okay, the metal shelves without the white trays, I just doused it all in warm water, closed the door, and I let that just soak and sit there for 20 to 25 minutes, and then I opened the door again and quickly just wiped everything down with disinfectant wipes, you know, like baby wipes. So, but not baby wipes. I'm using the kitchen wipes. So they're antibacterial. They're antibacterial, like a bleach type of wipe. They're strong and durable. But I just let the warm water soak into everything first, and then I was able to just wipe it off. And I won't open it and show you now. It took me over an hour to do it. When I was finished, it looked like it was brand new in there again. And that's the first time I've done that in 5 months. Now, if you've only got to clean one of these things out 2 or 3 times a year, well, I don't think that's a big deal. The problem I've got is that I'm putting eggs in here every week. I'm hatching eggs every week. So you can clean the white trays whenever you want. You can buy more trays and have clean ones to go in, as you then got dirty ones to go in the dishwasher, and they can be cleaned for next week or whatever. But it's really difficult to open the door and, you know, clean everything every week or every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks or even once a month without losing all your temperature, all your humidity. It could potentially mess up your hatching of your eggs. So what I did, on one day, I'm gonna take all the trays out, I'm gonna spray everything, and basically I just gave all the eggs in the incubator an hour of cooling off, which won't hurt. You can leave your eggs out of the incubator for an hour, 2 hours, once a week during the course of their incubation, and it won't make any difference whatsoever. In fact, it's been said that that could actually increase your chances of fertility and hatch rate. So it's not a bad thing, but I don't want to be doing it every week. There's no need to do it every week. I reckon 3 times a year you need to take all them trays out and clean everything out in there, and then jobs are good. And there's other things that you need to do is these tubes, they do get scaly. When you buy a Brinsea incubator, you will be given spare of this. Comes in a bag like that. They give you the thicker stuff, which is the stuff for the top bit. They give you all this tube and bundles of it. So I've not had to buy any yet, and I've changed mine about 4 times already. When you buy the incubator, it comes with enough tubing to change all of that, all right, pretty much 3 or 4 times. So that's just one thing to just be wary of. This does get scaled up, it does get clogged up, especially the one that's turning all the time. It's constantly under friction, and it's constantly being stretched and pulled and whatnot, so that does wear out. So that's something that needs to be changed on these a lot. So you might be like one of my friends that's got one of these incubators, and he's got the humidity pump and he's never used it. It all depends on your situations. You'll work it out for yourself, you know. All I say is they are bomb proof. They're absolutely completely reliable. They hold a great temperature. Humidity's fucking absolutely bang on. You can't go wrong. They aren't cheap. They're British made. This one cost me about 890 quid. It was delivered from Brinsea directly. It came within about 2 weeks, and already I would say I've probably had my money back about 5 times over. We're hatching between 20 to 50 eggs a week. This time of year in the winter, we're not hatching much at all. But in the spring, I mean, and it can handle, it don't matter if you put 1 egg or 200 eggs in this thing. If there's room for them, it will handle it and it will take care of them. They are absolutely second to none. I can't believe that there's another incubator out there that could do what this does for that money. I think they're phenomenal. I think they're fantastic. So that's my review. That's my 2 cents on these incubators. Brinsea, British made, absolutely fantastic. There's a few things there that I've learned with them myself. There's a few things there I would say be careful of. There's a few little tricks there that you can use if you choose to buy one for yourself. I think they're fantastic. I won't be using anything else, and when I need to upgrade, I'll just go and buy a bigger one than what I've already got. They do one that's twice the depth for that, so instead of 3 trays and 1 hatcher, it'll have 6 trays and 2 hatchers at the bottom. Everything is exactly the same. I can literally buy one twice the size of this, set it up right there, turn it on, do exactly the same settings, and I'm positive I'll get exactly the same results. And the results I've been getting are brilliant. I hatch on average at least 90% of every egg I put in there. My quail eggs probably 95%, duck eggs 90%, and chicken eggs probably 85%, to be fair, because the chicken eggs I find, you know, they're a little bit more sensitive than ducks and quail, but I think 85% of every chicken egg I put in here comes out healthy, perfect. So that's my review on the Brinsea Over Easy 190 Series 2. Absolutely fantastic piece of kit. Thanks for listening. I hope I haven't dribbled on too much for you. This video is literally, it is for anybody that wants to buy a Brinsea or is thinking about buying a Brinsea. It's not for entertainment value really, this is educational. So I'll shut up now. Thanks for listening. God bless you. All the best. Keep in touch with yourself. Go on. Off you go.